I have to say something, right?
Yes, so
Okay.
this is a good time to
Okay.
get you
You
to
can
sort of
sing.
say a little bit
Well,
about.
I would like to thank everyone for entering in this challenge. It has been super fun for us to judge, and lots of good entries. It was really, really hard to choose, especially for the third place. That's why you're gonna have a surprise on the third place. Um, we couldn't decide basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, spoiler, there are gonna be two third places.
Yeah, we had
Okay.
a trouble.
You guys were too good, and yeah, this is what
Yeah.
happens.
Okay.
So, are my levels okay? Because I feel like
Um,
I'm already saying too much.
no, that's okay. So,
Uh,
guys, can
are
you
we
in the
are we
chat?
online actually? Because
Huh?
for me it says it's offline.
What?
Okay. I think there might be a minute lag or something. Okay. Yeah, they can hear.
They can hear.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just keep going and hopefully it'll capture everything. Otherwise, we're gonna be in trouble.
Otherwise, we can do it again later.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so hopefully you guys can all hear. Alex, would you actually want to start by telling us just a little bit about, I guess, how you got started on your journey, like how long it took you, whether you're self-taught, and maybe kind of what you're up to now.
Well, long story short, I'm a Romanian artist. I wasn't, as a kid, I wasn't go, growing up with the idea that I will ever be an artist. I was just like going with the flow, like studying whatever I was studying at school. But the my life took me into this point where I realized that I'm not really happy with what I was doing. So I really thought about starting a design college. So that's what I did. I went there, and that was my first step towards art. And yeah, I realized that people at school aren't really interested in drawing, and it was really hard to find somebody that would draw with me and maybe teach me some things because I was really a beginner. I started drawing in 2009, and till that point I had no art friends, no nothing. So I was kind of alone. So that's why I tried to go online, and I found about the Crimson Daggers group from a friend that's
Yeah.
doing 3D, and the rest is kind of history. Like I just started interacting with the online community. I was going through challenges. Uh, One of the first challenges that I ever entered was the Crimson Daggers Blood Sports.
Yeah.
It, and yeah, like that's when I
You won the
realized,
first
okay,
one, yeah.
I don't remember if I won the first one. I think I
I
got
think you
second
did.
place. It was
Oh,
was it
maybe.
the one with the winter thing?
Yeah, with
It
the
was like a
hunter.
sci-fi hunter. Okay. See, I don't even remember that so long ago. I remember the frog one. It was like a sci-fi frog
Oh
from
shit!
the like was
Right?
I
yeah
don't think
like
Oh,
I don't think I
remember
even
that.
seen that one.
Yeah. I remember the swamp elder, and I think
I know for sure that I won the Harry Potter one, the wizard, fat
yeah.
wizard.
The fat
The
wizard.
But
Fatty
the other
Potter.
ones, I think I was just mentioned or something. But yeah, it was really fun. And back in that time, like I kind of realized how to uh, approach art more efficiently, and that was through studies and like figuring out what problems do I have in my illustrations. Like I would start drawing, I would do a sketch, and then I would look at it and like I would think, okay, what do I need to do in order to make it more like better, basically. So I was kind of a detective in my own illustration and trying to find the problems. And once I knew the problem, I would try to Google the solution, like how to paint whatever, or how does a chain armor work, or how does it look like, or whatever. So that was like kind of the beginning of my true artistic career. Till then, I was just playing around, trying to figure out things for myself. But yeah, those things, like when I started to do them, it kind of changed the way I think and the way I approach art. And I think I took a good turn towards improving my art. And it still stands today. Like if you want to learn how to draw or how to concept stuff or do illustrations, I think it's a good method on like studies. I mean, they're
Yeah.
a good method to take on and just do it.
Okay. Hey, I've got a question for you. Do you still do lots of studies for your work?
These days, like I have a full-time job and um, I draw almost every day on paper, and most of them are studies. Yes,
Right.
I'm recently drawing with just like ballpoint pen, so it's less forgiving.
Yeah.
But that's what
Mhm.
I'm doing. I'm trying to force myself to do mistakes. I try to draw without construction. I'm trying to be more like Kim Jong-ji, for example.
Yeah.
Because if I'm doing that, I'm kind of with every drawing that I do, I point out the mistakes that I do, and I realize that okay, I don't know how to draw the eyes like with one ninja stroke, right? And that's what I'm taking from this kind of studies. Like I'm trying to figure out uh, the problems that I have in an unforgiving medium, right? Because
Yeah.
if I would do it on the computer, I would be like, okay, undo, 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 and then I would fix it. And that problem still remains inside your head, even though you might know how to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still study to this day. Not as hardcore as I was doing back in the day. I used to spend like 4 hours or something just on studies and trying to figure out things.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember you did like 2000 sketches of hands.
Yes.
Crazy.
I'm not sure I've done 2,000 sketches of hands in my entire life.
Like that was my approach of drawing hands, but then I did the mistakes of not. I was doing the studies, but I didn't have the mentality to draw every day a few hands from imagination.
Right.
So I really realized if I'm learning it or not, right? Because I was doing those studies, and yeah, I did them all in 1 month, and after that I was like, I didn't draw any hands. So after a few months, I was like, it was like I never drew those 2,000 hands, right?
Yeah, you
Wow.
forgot how to do this.
Yes, and the brain is like, it's interesting how it works. Like the more you do something, the better you get at it. But once you start pointing to your brain, like, okay, you don't know how to do this, then you're gonna pay even more attention. And that's when I started writing stuff down, because writing stuff down makes you conscious about the what you're doing there, and what it kind of gives you a better goal. You kind of understand, okay, I need to do this because of that, and so on. Like,
Yeah.
and what was the question again? It happens to me all the time. Like on interviews, like they ask the interviewer asked me a question, and then I start going into this story, and then 5 hours
Yeah.
later, I don't know what was the question. Like,
So
I think, yeah.
I also asked. So what you're doing now? You're working full time, right?
yeah, I'm working full time, and during the job hours, of course, I draw for the company.
Yeah.
Um, it's a fun thing. I'm doing more concept art now than I used to do back when I was freelancing,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's more interesting. I kind of got away from the Applebot style that I'm kind of known for, but and I think it's a good thing, because that kind of
Yeah.
cornered me into this spot where I would receive only those kind of jobs, and it wasn't really fun anymore for me. I don't really
Mhm.
want to do that stuff anymore. It was an okay experience for the time that I was drawing them, but right now I have different goals with my art, and
Right.
yeah.
Because
So, and after I get home from work, like maybe you saw my Facebook is full of pictures these days. I I kind of picked up photography as a hobby, and I'm trying to shoot every day a few
oh,
pictures,
Oh,
oh,
that's cool.
awesome.
and
That'll get your
because it
composition skills up.
exactly
Crazy.
it's something that relates to drawing, and I think it's a good thing. even if you don't like photography, just try it. Like, I recently installed on my phone an app, and basically it gives you filters in real time. So I'm shooting black and white in real time, and it's so good to see the shapes. It kind of cranks up the levels of the highlights and the shadows, so it's almost like a duotone image.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for composition basically, and I'm every day like I only live 4 minutes away from my workplace,
Wow.
but
That's nice.
in that 4 minute walk, somehow I manage every day to find something new to shoot. And yeah, sometimes I shoot it with my phone, sometimes I take my DSLR and take pictures.
Right.
I invested some money in a new lens, and I kind of start to understand lenses now, and how can I apply that knowledge back into drawing, and it's
Right.
super nice. Like,
Yeah.
it's all connecting now. And on top of that, I'm doing some 3D, and
Oh, that'll help.
that's also like something that builds up on the drawings. Well, it's kind of I build it up. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm having trouble expressing myself now. But yeah,
Yeah, sure.
being a previous like draftsman, now it's easier for me to understand 3D, because right now I'm thinking of composition, shapes, like
Right.
and design.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about polygons and shit like that. It's like I'm just doing it now.
Actually, it's funny. I used to do 3D a while ago, and I'm getting back into 3D now. And and I did that 3D stuff before I was doing, like illustrations. And going back into it and seeing all the stuff that it can give you is so great. It's so
Yes,
awesome.
and right now my workflow at work, for example, sometimes it's more 3D than 2D, and I managed to implement it. Like, for a while, I was kind of scared to go for it, but right now, if I have to design a prop or something, sometimes I go straight into 3D and I do it there. And after that, if the client wants blueprints, they're already there. I don't need to waste time anymore. And yeah, it's like, for the guys that are beginners right now and listening to this, you don't need to learn 3D,
No.
or if you're doing 3D now, you don't need to learn drawing. But it's an advantage, because at the end of the day, like, if you want to have a job in the industry, like, it's recommended that you try a bit of everything, so you become a more efficient machine, because you cannot compete with these guys today. It's like, it's crazy how advanced some artists are, even though they maybe just started 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But they're using these tools to their advantage. They're not
Mm-hmm.
stressing out to super understand like how light works or how cloth works. They would just like, okay, I'm gonna use these pictures and I'm gonna focus on the design. And some people maybe are more like, they know design even before they draw. They have a sense for proportion, for detail and stuff like that. So once a guy like that starts doing 3D
Yeah.
and photo bash and stuff, he will
Yeah.
kind of destroy you, because
Yep.
he doesn't care about like fundamentals. He just like pumps up like good designs. And
Yep. It allows you to free yourself away from the technical nature of
yes,
those
exactly.
fundamentals and basically just go wild on the design side. I'm finding that myself with the 3D. It's like my mind is, the capability that I have to design stuff is so much bigger, but I understand what I'm doing with it as well. Or I'm trying to, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
in the end, like, I think it's better if you try them all, and
yeah.
with your own experience, decide what is useful for you, what you want to do. Because I have this friend that always gives me as an example, Rangia. Like, he said, like, no matter how strong the computers are, they will never paint like Rangia or whatever. But yeah, that's true. Rangia is a true fine artist. But sometimes maybe some employers would not hire Rangia because he would be much slower than a guy that pumps up like 10 like matte paintings a day with photos with 3D.
Yeah.
And it depends what you do. Like, there's a market for both type of artists, for production artists and for more artsy artists like Rangia.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Rangia is like an arty artist. Like, he's a
Yeah.
really great artist. I really
He's a-
appreciate his pictures. But yeah, it's true. You cannot create them with the
I
computer. I mean, yeah,
I
you
mean,
understand.
I suppose, yeah, I agree with you. I suppose it comes down to what's the purpose. I mean, commercially, if it's commercial work, what's the purpose of your work? So, if it's just about pumping out concepts and designs and ideas, then that'll require a different sort of approach to something that's just illustrative or more fine art. I mean,
Yeah.
you can
And
take more time on that.
for example, me, I would rather go into the Rangia direction. I
Yeah.
don't really care about games or movies or
Right.
Yeah, so
I
you
want to do
prefer
some.
to have
I
a
want to do.
style.
Sorry.
You prefer to have a style in your work, like
Yes, style and
specific
to just
thing.
do whatever I want, basically.
The dream.
I want to work for the community, not for the industry. That's what I mean.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good to hear, because I think a lot of developing artists, like in the first year or two, they're kind of like, I just want to get in the industry. I just want to get in the industry. I just want to get in the industry, and then maybe they
Yeah,
realize that
it's
they're actually it is just a job, and you are just doing stuff for other people, as fun as it is, and sometimes you have your own needs to express whatever it is you want, and that, you know. So I see a lot of people who work in the industry for a long time do their own personal projects that are completely different.
yeah.
So, yeah, it does depend. How I've got one question for you as well. Is so you started freelancing first, or did you get a studio job first?
No, I mean it's tricky.
Yeah.
I had my first freelance job from DeviantArt from a girl,
Uh-huh.
but I wouldn't consider that as a freelance because she
Yeah.
ended up not paying me entirely, and
That sounds like
it was
freelance.
yeah,
I
yeah,
had that experience as well.
Sorry.
and but yeah, it was technically it was freelance, but my first real job was a full-time job at Gameloft, Romania.
Right.
And I worked there for a year, and mm, during that time I was working my ass off. It was the time when I was doing the live streams at 6 in the morning in
Wow.
Romania time.
Yeah.
So basically, I was waking up before each workday at 6, and I would do 1 hour of live stream, I think, or
Okay.
maybe more. I don't remember. It was such a long time ago. And yeah, I was training myself to be hardcore, and that's when I started also freelancing. And I was so in the
Mm.
morning I would do studies, then I would go 8 hours to work, and at home I would do another 4 hours of freelance. And my goal was that whenever I'm gonna have more money from those 4 hours of freelance each day, from basically I had this paycheck at Gameloft, and whenever I
Mm.
had more money from those 4 hours, it means like I can do it with
Yeah.
no problems
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was working half and earning more. So that happened in like less than a year.
Wow. Awesome.
With freelance, I think that's where the money is,
Yeah.
and but some people are stressed out and like they think, oh, what if I don't find freelance? And I think they're just stressing out for nothing. I mean, if you're working hard enough, you're gonna have jobs, I think.
Right.
And also you need to have a portfolio, and it's up to you.
Yeah.
I was also doing like a lot of promotion for myself back in the day. I was posting everywhere, and I
Yeah.
was taking care of my online name basically.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I started to receive jobs, because my name was out there and I was pushing it forward every day with. And also like when I did those 2,500 hands or whatever, I did that with a purpose. I wanted to shock a bit the community. Like
Yeah.
heard of no one doing so many studies of hands. And I was like, okay,
And
I'm
and
gonna
no
do that.
no one has since.
Yeah, well,
Probably.
maybe there's someone crazy right now. and
Yeah, it's
he
coming
will
up.
do it.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
but-
I'll
like
do
I was,
3,000 sketches of fingernails. So just watch me.
and
that's-
yeah, like that was kind of my goal back then. Like I was trying to impress a bit the community so people would talk about me, and also to inspire other people,
Yeah.
and also to get jobs. And it worked. Like I did everything, and it worked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't say that you should go for a studio job just because it offers you security.
Yeah.
In a studio job, I think you're gonna sink in there, and most of the people get comfortable with that,
Yep.
and then they stop pushing hard, and
Right.
yeah.
I've
So
heard.
yeah, right now I'm in a studio job just because I got too lazy and I needed to
I
It's.
somehow don't believe that, but
Now
yeah, I
I.
was in a bad place a while ago, and again,
Mm,
this is something that people. I talk to a lot of people. People send me messages, and they're like, "Oh, how do you do it? You're always so motivated." But they only see the success part.
yeah.
I have my down times, and it's really important for you to know this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a human being, and I'm not a machine. I get depressed also.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I can't draw at all, and
Yeah.
it's normal. But
Yeah.
some people only focus on these problems, and they
Mm,
forget that the only solution to get out of this is to restart drawing and redoing stuff.
yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna just run in circles and never gonna become better.
Yeah. Definitely. I. That
I have a,
is. Sorry. Go for it.
yeah, yeah, I have a question because many people on the forum have the same problem with the lack of support from their family. If I recall correctly, you have some problems with your father. Am I right?
Well, the thing is that in the beginning they didn't understand what I was trying to
Mm,
do,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
nowadays they understand like that this is my passion and I was really passionate about it. But yeah, in the beginning they didn't understand. But what's important for you beginner artists to understand is that you have your own life, and no matter what your father, mother,
mm,
grandparents, sister,
mm-hmm.
or whoever, friends think of you, it's you live your life, and if you really want to do this, do it, because it's not a shameful thing to be an artist. I'm really proud that I'm an artist.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't believe in you, I mean, if you don't believe in yourself, this is from the internet. If you don't believe in yourself, like, then who else should, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I really like this
Abs-
thing. Just believe in yourselves and do your thing. Like, maybe sometimes you have jobs or whatever, but I'm sure you can find 1 hour each day to practice or
yeah.
do realize your dream. Like, don't
The.
be like a pushover. Don't give up your dreams easily.
Yeah.
If it would be easy, everyone would do it, but it's not easy. Like,
Yeah.
I
It,
I I worked a lot to get where I am today, and I'm not really far compared to other artists, but I can tell you it's a hard work. It's not fun. It's not just like
yeah.
happy moments. It's gonna be depressing some days, but when you're gonna succeed, it's gonna feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I one of the things that I just picking up on what you said is the the consistency of your effort is actually important. So, um, yeah, if you and you do get down, you do have those bad moments, and people will tell you you can't do it, or you'll tell yourself you can't do it, but you have to just keep
Yeah,
going if you're going to kind of succeed. And it's not even just succeeding as in making it as an artist, but it's just to keep enjoying it. I think that's one of the
yeah,
things you said about the studio work is it gets very comfortable and very easy, but I think you
yeah.
maybe start to lose a bit of the what you enjoy
And
about it.
yeah, and just to clear the story with my father, basically
Mm.
it was the time when I decided to quit the informatics college and go to design college. And
Mm.
basically he was supporting me. He paid for my education till that point, and of course he was upset. It's like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, imagine you have a kid and he's going to like medical school and it's super expensive or something, and you pay for his education, and then he tells you one day, I don't want to do this, I want to be a guitar player.
Yeah.
And your kid has never played guitar before that that point, so of course you're gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? And yeah,
Yeah.
I understand now, but back in the day, it was like, for me, he didn't realize how much I was suffering for doing informatics, and I didn't really like
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
It
Mm-hmm.
was a bad thing for me. I thought this is what he would want me to do, right? I was trying to
Yeah.
live his life through my life, right? And that will never turn out good. So that's why I'm telling you, like, just follow your dreams, guys. And
Yeah.
Yeah, great advice.
Great advice. So, as in order to help some of these guys follow their dreams, we're going to announce the winners
Yep.
for the challenge. We may as well get to it, right?
Yep.
So, Alex will give you the honors of going through the winners. If you want to start from third place, and then we'll go up, and then we can mention some honorable mentions at the end.
Okay.
So, yeah. So,
So
who is
for
your
third
pick
place,
for third place?
well, that was the thing. It's not my pick. It's our pick because we
True.
gather around,
True, true.
and we kind of discussed like a lot about this, and it was a really tough choice.
Yeah, we
Some-
rolled the
some-
dice.
Some of you guys have really great rendering, but you kind of dodged the theme of the challenge, and that was kind of a problem. And some of you guys have really great ideas, but your artistic skills aren't up to that level. But for these things, it's easy. You just need to work hard enough on the other thing, right? And with no further ado, the two guys that tied for third place are
Yeah.
beep, 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 beep.
We should have sound effects.
Okay, so Hobbit and Pepe the God.
All right. So, well done.
Congratulations.
Woohoo.
Yeah, you need sounds with party.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm bringing them up on the screen, so we
Okay.
can have a look at them. And I've got hobbits up there and Pepe the God. So why don't we talk about, or why don't you start us off with why these
Okay,
guys?
so
We can start with Hobbit, maybe.
yes, so Meg Tywin Lannister. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's Warhammer style, right? Or
Yeah.
I'm not really good with this kind of Meg style because I don't draw like a lot of robots, but
Yeah.
it's a really cool image. Like it has there the story, but what it dragged it a bit down is the technique. You can improve on the values, I think. Try to find maybe a better angle next time for your illustrations. It's like imagine, and now I'm gonna go back to my hobby, the photography. Imagine yourself, you're a photographer and you're in that room with your character. From where you would shoot your character in order to look good, to tell the story that okay, my character is the most badass character ever, and we all know how badass is Tywin. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
I think the greatest thing about this image is that you can instantly recognize it's Tywin Lannister, and that's
Yes.
probably the strongest point of it.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, and even I mean, not so much the color scheme, I guess, but it's gritty and it's relatively neutral in some of it, except for the big banner and the fact that it just looks like Tywin and you know it's him. You don't even have to think about it. It's really, really great. So I really like this one as well. It's
yes,
very, very
and
cool.
also like try to maybe do some cinematic studies because
Yeah.
your lighting is very flat. If I zoom out of your picture, it's almost like the same. I mean, it's not the same value. It's almost like cut in half because that screen is the brightest, and then you have the other half that's darkest. But I can't really tell it's a character inside there if I zoom it like super far away.
Yeah.
So you can definitely play with the lighting. And for example, there was a runner-up, and I'm gonna say now, it was the weasel image. Sorry, I forgot the name.
It's Johnny.
Johnny. Okay, he has such a strong read.
Yeah.
And it was one of our like runner-ups for this third place. But again, we had to somehow pick someone. But Johnny had a less well. I mean, it's not less well done, but he had more troubles with you than with the rendering. you did a slightly better job than him, so you're you placed especially for that. So right now you have the right storytelling skills, but try to push more now a bit into understanding how light works, how anatomy works, and stuff like that. Basically, do a lot of studies.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
Awesome.
2,000 hands.
Yes.
2,000 Taiwans, and then you'll absolutely nail it. Okay, so should we talk a little bit about Pepe the God, which is the
Yeah,
third?
Pepe's rendering is really good.
Yeah.
I really like it. There are a few things that bother me in the image. Like I'm not sure the white thing if it's a door, and if it's a door, then why is it so small? Maybe because Tyrion lives there, but another.
That was good.
Maybe. Yeah.
But still, it's like it's a bit confusing. It has some weird things going on. Like you kind of added textures. Like those books are, I kind of can tell they're photos, and
Yeah.
it stands out so much, and even the globe, and it steals the attention. I mean, if you use photos, like I would probably leave this photo, but I would dim it more down. Like you have tons of highlights in there, you have lots of visual noise, and that thing distracts from the main characters. Yeah, you put the blue lighting orb there and next to the main character's hand, but still, like my eye goes to those books like a lot, and also to that
Yeah.
triangle thing. They're too. It's basically detail that is too sharp,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's some problems with the perspective, I think.
Yeah, I
The-
think
the-
the
Doesn't really
initial
add up.
sketch was better.
The interesting, yeah, when he did some preliminary stuff, and right at the last sort of minute, he switched the perspective and made it more flat, and I think that's part of the problem. Is
Yeah.
he changed it up right at the end?
So yeah, maybe a more daring composition again. Imagine yourself, you're the photographer, and now the only overlapping that you have with the main character is him with the background banners and a bit at his hand with the corner of the wardrobe, and that makes kind of things flat. It doesn't feel like it's an environment with stuff in it, right? It feels like
Yeah.
sterile.
Yeah.
Try to
And-
overlap more things, and even with the main desk, if you would have dropped the pentagram thing and made like a chair for Tyrion, and you could see his feet, you would have more overlap, and that's like giving
Yeah.
you something. But that pentagram like makes me look at it. It's not a pentagram. It's like a David star with
Yeah.
two whatever. But yeah, makes me look at it, and it doesn't tell me anything in the end.
Yeah. So attention, also the level of detail density in your image will draw a lot of focus, which is exactly why those books and those sharp lines are kind of drawing the eye. The character, I think, has done relatively well, the main character.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just everything else is so sharp.
The funny thing is that the Tyrion looks a lot like Jamie from the
Yeah.
TV series.
Yeah, it looks a bit like
Just-
Jamie.
That's true. Yeah, that did confuse me, actually. I wasn't sure who was Jamie. I mean, obviously the little one. Okay, so...
But yeah, for example,